One of the cool new features in iOS and iPadOS 15 is the ability to use portrait mode in FaceTime and other video apps as well, such as Skype and Zoom. That's what we'll be talking about today. Hi, I'm Ellen from Ellen's Tips for iOS, and I help seniors master their iPhones and iPads. If you're new here, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss when a new video is posted. Let's jump in. Portrait mode allows a user to add a bokeh effect, a blurring of the space behind you, which can help to hide your background, so now your family and friends won't see that messiness or distracting room behind you. This new feature is only available on certain device models right now. iPhones and iPads with an A12 chip will have it. Here's a list of the devices that can use portrait mode in FaceTime. To activate portrait mode in FaceTime, you'll need to launch the FaceTime app, which is for me down here in the dock. Find yours, tap on it to launch it. And then you can either choose contacts that you've previously called on FaceTime, or you can go ahead and create a new FaceTime. And then you'll be given some suggestions of people to call. But if you know who you're going to call and they're in your contacts list, go ahead and start to add them. I'm going to paste in a name and then hit return. And when I do, a FaceTime launch button will appear. I'll go ahead and tap on that to make my call. In the lower right-hand corner, you'll see some options. This option that my blue circle is around is the portrait mode. And if I turn it off, you'll see that my background is clear. And when I turn portrait mode on, you'll see that the wall behind me becomes blurry. So that's how you turn portrait mode on when you're making a FaceTime call. You can also use Control Center to toggle on portrait mode, which I find so much easier to use because you can set it up before your call. So what you'll do is you'll tap the FaceTime app to enter FaceTime. And now if you come to the upper right-hand corner of your screen and pull down, and if you have an iPhone or iPad with Face ID, Control Center is in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. If you have an iPhone or iPad that's using Touch ID or has a home button, you're going to want to swipe up from the bottom of the screen. Once you do, as long as you're in the FaceTime app, you'll see two tiles at the top of the screen. One says video effects. Go ahead and tap on that and you'll have two options. You'll have the portrait option and center stage. Center stage is for if you're moving around while you're being videoed, the camera will actually move with you. Portrait is what blurs the back of the background of your screen. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on, and you can tap anywhere outside of that box and then anywhere outside of the Control Center. And you'll see that I have a textured wall behind me, and so that texture wall is blurred out at this point. If I can back up here and pull down to access Control Center, and tap on video effects again and turn portrait off and come back out, you'll see that you can see the texture in my walls. So this is how you use Control Center to set up portrait. While we're still in the FaceTime app, let's come back into the Control Center and let's talk about the microphone mode. Go ahead and tap on the tile that says mic mode, and you'll see that you have three options. You'll see standard, voice isolation, and wide spectrum. Voice isolation tries to remove all of the background noise and focuses on your voice, while wide spectrum does the complete opposite, recording everything in the room or as much of it as it can. You might consider using wide spectrum if you're recording musical instruments or talking with more than one person at a time. Standard, on the other hand, is the middle ground between the two, and likely the mode you'll be using most of the time. You can enable portrait mode in other video calling apps such as Zoom, Skype, WhatsApp, Instagram, and others. And to do that, you'll want to start a third-party video call. And in this case, I'm in the Zoom app on my iPad, and I'm just going to hit New Meeting and start a new meeting. And when I do, it's going to ask me about audio. I'm just going to say Wi-Fi. And to enable portrait mode, once you're inside another video calling app, you'll want to use the control center again. So swipe down from the upper right corner or the lower from the bottom of your screen, and then tap on video effects. When you do, you're only going to have one option in Zoom. It does not use center stage, but right now portrait mode is off. I'll turn it on. I'll tap anywhere outside the box and anywhere outside the control center. It'll bring me back into Zoom, and it will blur out the screen behind me. If I swipe back out and I'm in the control center and I tap on video effects, I can turn off portrait mode, tap outside the screen, and you'll see that the textured wall is back in behind me. So that's how you use third-party calling apps with portrait mode. So that's portrait mode in FaceTime on your iPhone or iPad with an A12 chip. It improves the video call experience and is a great feature to compete with apps such as Zoom and Skype. The blur is not that definitive, but it does help somewhat. I hope you found this video useful. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.